Hi, okay, I'm going to give feedback on this InVEST video so that all of you know what the actual team scores gave this particular teacher. So on standards and objectives, they gave her a 5. Everything tied to the Tennessee English Language Arts standards. Objectives were presented, reinforced. She used the I can statements, had students repeat the objectives at different parts of the lesson. That was phenomenal. And most students were able to demonstrate progression towards skill mastery. So when you are actually out there doing your lessons, you want to make sure that you show your students' work. Attach that, scan it, show it as a document so that we can see that students actually mastered what it was that you set out for them to master. Motivating students, they gave her a 5. She said good job, the class responded, there was choral response, that was really good. Teacher offered praise, I like the way you ... and she elicited peer praise as well, and that's how you earn those scores of 5. Not only is the teacher praising, but when students are praising one another, or when students are doing the work and searching for answers on their own and asking each other questions and giving each other and using accountable talk back and forth, that's when you score a 5. So it's great that you're doing these wonderful things, but when you teach the students to do it on their own, that's when students are learning the most. So that's great. Presenting instructional content, they gave her a 5 for that as well. She did a great job. She had phonetic spelling, pictures, word walls. Kinesthetic was writing with finger, cutting compound words, gesturing fierce enemy. She did a great job. Lesson structure and pacing, they gave her a 4. She said the lesson contains an introduction with recall, instruction with teacher modeling, scaffolding, guided practice, independent enrichment, and a closing with recall. But they did say there was little opportunity for students who progress at different rates. So be aware they look for that. Okay, activities and materials, they gave her a 4. They said the texts and activities were appropriate. Activities included use of manipulatives and technology. All materials were readily accessible. Students are familiar with routines and procedures. Questioning, they gave her a 5. It says questions are frequent and utilize individual, group, and shared responses. Teacher is consistent with wait time. Teacher uses assessing and advancing questions, so that's great. As far as academic feedback, they gave her a 5. They said that oral feedback was frequent. Teacher made use of student progress to adjust and differentiate instruction. Teacher circulated constantly, that's something they look for. And teacher provides opportunity for students to provide feedback for one another. So again, we're looking for students doing it, not just the teacher. So that's why she scored a 5. Grouping students, they gave her a 4. Teacher makes use of whole group instruction, guided reading breakout groups, and independent stations. Pretty good. She uses performance records and ongoing assessment. Students are familiar with the stations, the routines, and the responsibilities. All good. Teacher content knowledge, they gave her a 5. Teacher knowledge of students, they gave her a 4. And again, they're looking for that differentiated instructional opportunities. The more you differentiate, the better. All right, thinking is 4. Said teacher models thinking in both whole group and breakout groups. Expectations require students to be attentive to critical information. Good. Problem solving, they gave her a 3. It says students are required to draw conclusions and identify relevant information. Instructional plans, they gave her a 5. They were spot on. Clear goals. Content is consistent with the standards. New learning takes place. Appropriate sequencing. For student work, they gave her a 4. It says students assess text for relevant information. Students are required to support assertions and express their ideas both verbally and in writing. Assessment, they gave her a 4. Assessment criteria and observations are acknowledged by the teacher in her reflection, but are not made inherently clear within the construct and execution of the lesson. However, discernible opportunities for immediate feedback and assessment are provided for in the lesson design. So if it's in the lesson plan, that's great, but they also want to see you doing what you say you will do. So that's really all for that. So nice job. I hope this helped you hope this assignment helped you get a feel for what we look for as evaluators, so that you'll know what to do when you're out there teaching and getting evaluated yourself. So good job. Thanks. Bye-bye.